Hello, it's Harry and Rose from St Paul's Lifestyle here. If you're not aware, we printed a fantastic interview with Richard Branson, one of the world's biggest and best business extraordinaires. We thought it was so good that it's worth reading the answers out. I'm going to do the questions, and Rose is going to answer them with his answers. So the first one: what or who gave you that initial understanding of a business?
My mother Eve has been a very important presence in my life and has taught me many lessons in life which are relevant to business. As a child, my mother taught me never to look back in regret, but to move on to the next thing. The amount of time people waste dwelling on failures rather than putting that energy into another project always amazes me. I've had fun creating and running the Virgin businesses, so a setback is never a bad experience, just a learning curve. Another piece of good advice was from my mentor, Freddie Laker. The first time I met him, I was thinking about setting up my own airline. He gave me this advice: you'll never have the advertising power to outsell British Airways. You're going to have to get out there and use yourself. Make a fool of yourself, otherwise you won't survive. I've been making a fool of myself ever since.
What was the very first thing you did when you started out in business?
The very first business I started was Student magazine when I was 17. I began working on it part-time at school when I was 15, writing and editing when I could in between lessons, but I eventually decided to leave school early to work on it full-time. The very first thing I had to do was find some interesting people to interview for the magazine and try to get some companies paying to advertise in Student. This was no easy task as I was trying to sell something that did not exist at that moment. I used to tell the old white lie and ring up a big company and tell them their major rival had agreed to advertise in Student and ask whether they would like to advertise as well. Then, once I had got that company's attention, I would ring up the rival I spoke about and ask if they would like to advertise in Student, as their major competitor was very interested in doing so. Looking back, had I been 5 or 6 years older, the sheer absurdity of trying to sell advertising space to major companies in a magazine that did not yet exist, edited by two 15-year-old schoolboys, would have prevented me from picking up the phone at all, but I was too young to contemplate failure.
Is there anything that could have been done to support you at an early stage?
As a dyslexic who didn't excel in the classroom, I have seen how education can have a negative impact if support isn't given. Entrepreneurial spirit was not encouraged at my school. When I was trying to get Student magazine off the ground, bringing in advertisers using the school phone box, my headmaster told me I couldn't continue to run the publication and carry on studying. So I decided to leave and pursue my dreams of running a business that could make a positive difference to people's lives. It would have been wonderful to have had more support at school for Student, but luckily I had fantastic parents who gave me all the support I needed at such an early age.
What do you think has been the most important thing you ever did to set yourself on the business route?
Without a doubt, it was leaving school at 16 and going off to start Student magazine. I didn't like school and I never went to university. I found that there was too much focus upon dates and memorising textbooks rather than real-life learning. We wanted to give young people a voice on the big issues of the day and founded Virgin a year or so later as we saw a music industry that needed shaking up and went into that. We were trying to change things for the better and make a difference in people's lives. That's an exciting thought and has been our guiding motivation for the last 43 years.
What has been the most significant personal undertaking?
Convincing a young Glaswegian girl to marry me.
What do you think are the things that matter most in business and in life?
I'm a huge advocate of business as a force for good. A successful business must have a sound knowledge of its market and work on how its product or service will be different, but it is most important for it to stand out and improve people's lives. If you can ensure it responds to a real need out there in the marketplace, your business can punch well above its weight. In life, my family means the most to me. I love spending time with my beautiful wife, my 2 children, their partners and their friends. Christmas and holidays are great as the entire family get together and share the festivities. Nothing beats spending time with the people I love.
What has made and makes you happiest?
Early on in my life, I realised that personal stuff really didn't matter. Joan and I lived on a houseboat and one day it sank. We realised that we missed nothing except our treasured photo albums. Later, our house in London caught fire, destroying everything inside. Last year, our home in the British Virgin Islands was completely gutted as a result of a lightning strike. We were so relieved that everyone got out safely that even the loss of our family photo albums and my treasured notebooks were of little consequence. Stuff really is not what brings happiness. Family, friends, good health, and the satisfaction that comes from making a positive difference are what really matters and brings you happiness.